Avengers! Assemble. Welcome back to the channel. It's the Preventers, you guys, and welcome back to some more Marvel Future Fight content. And currently, the game is under maintenance for the Marvels update. So we're gonna go ahead and go through here the patch details for you guys before the update drops. We're gonna break it down as usual, tell you everything there is to know, and explain anything that you may be confused on. I normally take a while with these videos, so we're gonna hop straight on into it and not waste any time. And firstly, I want to start off with saying that I was wrong in the live update, or the live stream that they had for the update the other day. I said that on the screen it showed that it'd only be 40% off on the uniforms. It apparently is going to be 50% off. I'm going to go with what the patch details say. I'm going to assume that they screwed up on the live stream because it is showing here that Captain Marvel, as well as Nick Fury, Miss Marvel, Kamala Khan, and Spectrum will cost 875 crystals, meaning they will be 50% off, which is huge because then that means you don't have to wait and you can just go ahead and buy them straight away because they're going to be 50% off. So let's dive straight on into reading these patch notes. Uniform effect for Captain Marvel. She'll be getting her tier 4, obviously. She's going to stay universal superhero. It's going to be increased basic damage dealt to supervillains by 55% and a decrease from damage received by supervillains and basic damage by 40 and 50%. So our change skills here on her ultimate skill, Captain's Blast. Applying to enemies is going to be stun, fear, remove active buff from target, silence, fracture, and decrease all basic defense. Applying to herself is going to be ignore target dodge, 65% chance to penetrate, invincible, and energy damage. Her leadership is going to be a 35% increase of all energy attack. I'm not sure if that went up or not, if it stood the same. I'd have to double check that. Her tier 2 passive is going to be increased chain hit damage and increase all buffs. Her other passive is going to be super armor and increased skill damage. And then onto her 5 skills here, she's going to have, starting off with her first skill, light speed dash, which is going to be on a 6-second cooldown, pretty small cooldown there. It's going to be silence, 80% chance of missing attacks, and energy damage applying to the enemies, of course. Then our second skill, Captain's Aerial Strike, is going to be burn, stun, paralysis, and energy damage with a 9-second cooldown. Our third skill is going to be Captain's Energy. It's going to be applying to enemies. It's going to be stun, snare, fracture, decrease all basic defense. A lot of great stuff there in those first 3 for ABX and ABL. Applying to herself, she'll have a 10% heal, increase all basic attack, and some more energy attack. And that'll be all over a 16-second cooldown. On her fourth skill, it's going to be Captain's Wrath. It's going to enable attacking a target that has the ignore targeting effect. Applying to enemies is going to be burn, fracture, incapacitation, and paralysis. Again, great for ABX and ABL. Applying to herself, she's going to have invincible, increase all basic attack, and energy damage on, again, a 16-second cooldown. So staying consistent here with the cooldowns, which is pretty nice. On her fifth skill, Captain's Judgment, she's going to have shock, stun, snare, and incapacitation again. Applying to herself, she's going to have accumulation, which is really good. 0.8% increase all basic attacks and energy damage on a 18-second cooldown. So again, not too bad. Her cooldowns are pretty low, all considered. Of course, the only heal that we got, though, is on that third skill. It's a 10% heal. So that makes perfect sense for what her tier 4 is, which we'll get into a little later. Next up is Nick Fury. Beginning his tier 3 upgrade, staying a speed superhero. So his uniform effect, applying to himself, is going to be increased skill damage by 35% and decreased basic damage received by 30%. His leadership is going to increase all basic attacks by 60% to superhero allies. That's, of course, going to make him a great support there. His tier 2 passive here is going to be super armor, immunity to incapacitation, and increased basic damage dealt to supervillains. That's all going to apply to superhero allies. So, of course, this is what makes Nick Fury such a great support. Is going to be these two, his leadership and his tier 2 passive. It's going to be great for superhero allies only, so no supervillains. So then we get into his skills. His first skill is called Shotgun Blast. Applying to enemies can be stun and physical damage on a 7-second cooldown. His second skill is going to be called Electro Grenade. It's going to have an 8-second cooldown, and applying to enemies is going to be shock, paralysis, and physical damage. His third skill is going to be called RPG Control. I'm interested to see what that looks like. Applying to enemies is going to be burn and stun, and applying to himself, he's going to have an increase all basic attack and defense by 35%, along with some more physical damage all over a 15-second cooldown. Then on his fourth skill, Spy Skill, it's going to be applying to enemies is going to be burn, applying to themselves is going to be invincible, increased basic damage by 70%, and physical damage all over a 17-second cooldown. His fifth skill here is going to be called Leader's Expertise. Applying to himself, he's going to have a 35% heal. He's going to have a 100% chance to grant all damage immunity, increase all basic attack, and some more physical damage. And applying to enemies is going to be shock, stun, paralysis, and decrease all basic defenses by negative 10%, all over a 16-second cooldown. So again, very nice cooldowns here as well on Nick Fury. We have 2 more characters to go, and then we'll give you our final thoughts as far as on paper with these characters. So next up is Miss Marvel Kamala Khan. Unfortunately, she stays a speed superhero, so it doesn't look like she's going to shake up the meta very much unless she's the most broken Tier 3 known to man. But either way, even if she is, I don't think she's going to be able to compete with the level 80s and Tier 4s, unfortunately. So on her uniform effect, applying to herself is going to be increase all basic attack, super armor, and decrease basic damage received. Her Tier 2 passive is going to have, applying to herself is going to be increased chain hit damage and increased skill damage. On her other passive, applying to herself is going to be ignore target dodge and guard break immunity. Her first skill is going to be called Sliding Tackle. Applying to the enemies to be paralysis and physical damage on an 8-second cooldown. Her second skill is going to be called Focus Attack. It's going to be on a 9-second cooldown, and applying to enemies is going to be paralysis and physical damage. Her third skill, my favorite by far, is called Goose Attack. Applying to enemies is going to be paralysis. Applying to herself is going to be a 100% chance to grant all damage immunity, accumulation, proc, and then physical damage on a 16-second cooldown. Her fourth skill is going to be called Hammer Hard Light. Applying to enemies is going to be stun and paralysis. Applying to herself, she's going to have invincible, another proc, and physical damage. On her fifth skill here, it's going to be on a 17-second cooldown. It's going to be called Miss Marvel's Judgment. Applying to enemies is going to be burn, shock, and decrease all basic defenses. And applying himself, or herself, sorry, is going to be a 35% heal, increase all basic attacks, and physical damage on a 17-second cooldown. So yeah, her fifth skill will be that heal. Last but not least here, oh boy, there's a lot to talk about. Is Captain Monica Rambeau. She's going to be a blast superhero. She's staying transcended. Of course, Miss Marvel will be staying Tier 3 as well. On her uniform effect, applying to herself is going to be 30% increase of HP, which is nice. Super armor increases all basic defenses. Her Tier 2 passive is going to be decreased energy damage received, increased skill damage, 100% chance to increase critical damage. On her passive here, it's going to be applying to herself is going to be a proc. Applying to herself is also going to be a 100% chance to dodge physical attacks. The cooldown on that is going to be 7 seconds, which is interesting, a cooldown on a passive. A little different compared to what we normally see. Her first skill is going to be called Spectrum Blast. It's going to be on a 7-second cooldown. Applying to enemies is going to be burn, 70% chance to ignore, or 70% chance of missing attacks, paralysis, and energy damage. Her second skill is going to be Energy Wave. Applying to enemies is going to be stunned, 70% chance of missing attacks, fracture. Applying to yourself is going to be increased guaranteed crit rate and energy damage on a 9-second cooldown. Her third skill is going to have Silence, Invincibility, accumulation, proc, and energy damage on a 15-second cooldown. It's going to be called Energy Spectrum Release. Her fourth skill is going to be called Energy Transition with a 70% chance of missing attack, incapacitation, paralysis, decrease all basic defenses, a 25% heal, 100% chance to grant all damage immunity, another proc, and energy damage on a 13-second cooldown. Then last skill is going to be a called Union of Light on a 16-second cooldown. It's going to have stun, incapacitation, paralysis, 50% chance to penetrate, increase all basic attacks, and energy damage, like I said, on a 16-second cooldown. So let's take a look at Captain Marvel's Tier 3 and Nick Fury's Tier 3, and then we're going to let you know our thoughts on all these characters and where we think they're going to fit in the meta as far as on paper. So Captain Marvel's Tier 4 is going to have a 15% heal, which is good because obviously she only has a 10% heal on that third skill, so she's going to need that. And energy attack increased by 30% every 1 second, up to 120%. That's pretty good. A little basic, but it's still good. She definitely is going to need that heal, I'm assuming, considering she only has the 10% heal. So overall, it's a little different than just the increase all basic attack that we've been seeing, but nothing too special either. But I think it's going to be pretty good, especially with that up to 120% of energy attack. I think it's going to stack up pretty well. Nick Fury's tier 3 is going to involve burn, paralysis, ignore target dodge, 80% chance to penetrate with super armor, invincible, and physical damage. That's actually what it's going to look like. It's going to have the actual space station of Sword blasting down this giant beam on Earth on this specific spot that he's attacking, which is pretty darn cool. And I love how they made that animation there. So, his tier 3 skill is going to be called Saber Precision, by the way. So, overall, what are my thoughts about these 4 characters on paper? First of all, starting with Captain Marvel, I think she's going to dominate ABX and ABL. She's obviously going to take over from Scarlet Witch. Only thing I am curious about with Captain Marvel is if she's going to be able to compete with Jean Grey at all, or if we're still going to be using Jean on some of those days as well for Universals. We'll have to wait and see. I'm curious. I think there still is an ABL day where it's Universal Villain, though, so I think she's going to have to regardless. But I am curious to see how she matches up compared to Jean. It's going to be pretty darn interesting. And remember, she's pretty free to play, 100% free to play, actually. So it'll be pretty nice to be able to build her up. And finally, replace Scarlet Witch in ABX and ABL. So yeah, they did her kit pretty nice, and I'm excited to see what she can do. Nick Fury, on the other hand, is getting some nice buffs to his passives and, of course, his all-around support. Finally having him at tier 3 is something that a lot of us have been waiting for, and I'm so glad that we finally get that. I'm definitely picking up these 2 uniforms and upgrading these guys to at least level 80, and then, of course, tier 3. Huge additions to your roster these 2 are going to be, and I think they're going to be the focal points of this update as far as the characters and uniforms. Unfortunately, Miss Marvel, like I said, if they made her a combat type, I think it would have been perfect. She would have taken over from Titania, Valkyrie, and Sif, all these supports that are basically trying to be used as DPSs, and She-Hulk. They've been trying to be used as DPSs for ABX for as long as I can remember. And I really thought they were going to change her back to a combat type and let her take over. But it seems they have other plans. And I'm honestly just scratching my head trying to figure out how she's going to fit in the meta. She's not sort of competing with tier 4 Luna or Gwen at all, so I don't know what they're going to do with her, and I feel like she's just going to end up flopping, unfortunately. Seeing nothing that's super impressive in her details that is going to have her surpass a tier 4 character. The same thing with Spectrum. I'm still curious to see where she's going to really fall because she's a blast superhero. She's really competing with like Storm. And she's not going to take over Storm and ABX or ABO either, especially because Storm is such a niche mutant type, and because she's just a tier 4. So unfortunately, I feel like these 2 characters are going to take the tier 4 sort of fall and not be able to fall anywhere in the meta, which is unfortunate because both their uniforms look pretty cool, and they have some pretty nice reworks. It's just not going to be enough, I don't think, to fall anywhere in the meta. So yeah. Now, oh boy, that was only the half of it because as you can see on the scroll wheel, we're not even halfway there. There's a lot more to talk about, so let's dive into it. First of all, Minerva and Korath are getting their potential transcendence, and basically on their skills, it's going to have burn, bleed, crit rate, crit damage, ignore target dodge, invincible, removes all defense, and some procs and energy damage, both on 60-second cooldowns, of course. I think they're both going to be some nice additions to having transcendent characters and some nice additions to story mode. Fragment farming. But other than that, I don't see them falling anywhere without a uniform, obviously. But it's nice to see that they're still continuing to catch up with the tier 3s and Transcendence, and that's what their skills are going to look like. Pretty cool. Next up is the new Legendary Battle, which I'm really excited for, because obviously we have the CTP of Rage that we can buy for 2,500 crystals. We'll also get Spectrum for free here if you don't already have her. So yeah, it's going to be pretty nice. It's going to be 3 stages. These are going to be the following rewards. These are going to be the normal rewards, and then, of course, the extreme rewards here. Most important ones, obviously, is the CTP of basically these 4 right here. The 4-star artifact, level 6 potential enhancement, Radiant Element runes, and the CTP of Rage. Can't wait to get my hands on that because, as you guys know, I really need Rages. And I'll finally be able to do that. Then the Alliance Battle improvements. We actually get to take a look at the rewards a little bit more in depth compared to the live stream. So now, at 7 million in ABX, you'll get a small collection token chest. You only get 1 token, but still, that'll add up over time. At 10 million, you get an Uru chest. It's 6-star guaranteed. At 13 million, you get another small collection token, 1 again from the chest. That 15 million, you get a small tier 3 material supply chest. And I believe these have, I think it's 50 of either, I'm not sure. I'm actually have to check, but I'm pretty sure it's like 50 TCP or EOD or CCF. I'm going to have to double check that because I don't think they really show it. But we'll have to wait and see. Then for ABL, they really went all out. At 6 million, it's going to be a small chest, of course, for the Team Up Collection event. 8 mil, or not event, but game mode. I don't know what you want to call it. Accessory, whatever. At 8 million, you're going to get a Uru chest again, 6-star. Odin's Blessings included in this one. The ABX one is actually not including it. Again, a medium collection token chest, which I'm not sure what the difference is between small and medium. I guess maybe you get a little bit more tokens. We'll have to wait and see. The small ones I did see only offer 1 token, so we'll see. And then at 12 million, you get a small tier 4 material chest. So we can finally start getting some more tier 4 materials, and it'll be now in ABL. But yeah, it's going to be a whales game to get there. Honestly, on average for me, I'll probably be hitting that 6 mil mark. Hopefully sometime soon we'll get to 8 mil, but 12 mil is going to be pretty far out of reach. And then as far as here, I think we could hit 13, maybe 10 mil. 15 mil is still a little ways away. But this is a good incentive to get people to start playing this game mode even more. You already have a lot of ABX and ABL people. This will only bring in more and force people to sort of build these ABX and ABL characters like Captain Marvel. I think it's only fitting that they drop this with the Marvel's update, considering Captain Marvel is going to be a full ABX, ABL character. Obviously, the practice mode that we talked about in the live stream, you can now go play any day and sort of practice these characters. Great addition, especially for content creators. We can go ahead and get reviews on characters done that much faster, and I cannot wait. We have, of course, I was going to say 4, but we have a little bit more than that. We have 5 new artifacts. We have Captain Marvel's, which is going to have increased basic damage dealt to enemies, which will be nice. Nick Fury's is actually a support artifact, which makes him an even better support. Applying to superhero allies again is going to be ignore target dodge and increase all basic attack to boss types by 15%, and some additional total instinct up to 200%. He has a great artifact. If you're tier 3ing him, you need to get your hands on him, and he's going to be one that I'm definitely looking out for. Spectrum over here has an increased basic damage to supervillains, so it seems like a PvE artifact. So it looks like they were trying to gear towards PvE. I'm pretty sure all the characters in this update are PvE related, not seeing anything for PvP at all. Then Minerva is going to have ignore target dodge and some increased all basic attack. And then Korath here is going to have increased all basic attack and increased max HP. We got a new battle pass as always. The special icons look pretty cool. My favorite is Captain Marvel for sure. But yeah, it's pretty nice. We get the uniform collection confirming that this is it for the Marvels. We won't be getting the villain or any surprise cameos. I won't spoil anything there, but you definitely want to check out the latest trailer. So yeah, it's confirming that this is it for the Marvels. This is what we're getting. The mid-month will be something different. A couple other improvements, some significant ones here, is that when you select a tier 3 character that you already have selected, you not only get the biometrics back for them now, but you also get some tier 3 materials. Now, it's not a lot, but it's still a significant amount that I feel like they should have done this a little while ago. You'll get TCP, EOD, and CCF, 600 EOD, 300 TCP, and 480 CCF. Same thing with Awakening characters, except you get a little less CCF, and instead you'll be getting the Awakening gems and fragments, which is really nice. We also have some new items, which is pretty huge. It's pretty awesome to see here. We have a normal premium tier 3 ticket that can only be used on tier 2s that are at level 70 and have 25 plus gears. So I'm assuming that's going to be this one right here, because the normal ones usually have like the sort of wings going out here and are usually smaller. The Mega Premium Tier 3 ticket, which is this one, of course, is going to allow you to be used on any on Tier 2 characters that are level 60 and at their gears at least 20. So the difference is the normal, you have to have them at level 70 with their gears up to 25. The Mega, you just have to have them at Tier 2 level 60 with their gears at 20, which is pretty awesome. We also get Premium Uniform Upgrade tickets. The normal uniform upgrade ticket can be used on uniforms that are a rank lower than the ticket. So let's say I get a legendary ticket. I can get the epic, any uniforms that are at epic to legendary, no higher than that. The Mega Premium uniform ticket can be used on all uniforms that are lower than the rank ticket. So if I get a mythic one, I can basically go use it on any sort of uniform I want. Then we got some premium type enhancement tickets. We got a normal one that can be used on heroes a rank lower than the ticket. And then we have a premium one that allows you to use them on any lower rank. So basically, now what's changing here, because we already had these, they just changed them up a little bit. Now you can actually just sort of get someone from 1 all the way to 6 instead of having to go one by one. Next up, which is pretty huge, if you think about it here, we have a selected crafted comic card. So you can actually get a crafted premium card with craft colors from the list. So the craft color includes red, blue, green craft options. Normal option for each star will be applied based on the chances. So it's still up to chance, but you can actually pull crafted cards. Now, I don't know where we're going to get this. I'm assuming most of this stuff is going to be you have to buy them first, and then eventually we'll start getting them in game modes and in event quests and whatnot. But for the time being, I'm sure they're going to try and get their money's worth and make them worth some money in the shop. But this is pretty huge, and I can't wait to see when we'll be able to get our hands on this other than having to pay for it. And even paying for it is going to help you speed up your crafting process way faster. And to go along with a sort of crafting vibe here, we have a selector for a sword. You can choose an X sword with an enchanted. So again, like the premium card, you can go ahead and select a sword of your choosing with a craft on it and have a chance at it, which is pretty nice. This last one's pretty, I feel like underrated, pretty cool. You can choose an iOS set from the list. And so basically, if I want Power Rank Hulk all maxed, if I get one of these, I can select it and put it on a character, which makes things a lot faster and is pretty darn cool. Then we have some other small changes here. Nothing too big. The only thing that I would point out is that there's a tutorial for the Team Up collection now. Then we just get some game error fixes here. Again, nothing too huge. Some restarting when searching for agents is pretty cool. I've run into that one mainly, but other than that, nothing too huge. And that's pretty much it, guys. So yeah, sorry for this video being so long. I know I take forever on these videos. It is what it is. It's just my nature. I talk forever in these patch notes. I like to dive deep into them. So I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. We'll see you tomorrow for the update. It'll be coming out very soon, tonight or tomorrow morning, depending on where you guys are time zone wise. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video, and if you did, as always, consider leaving a like and subscribe to the channel, guys. See you on the next video. Have a great rest of your day, guys, and peace out.